What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen that I was going down. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Says by the time y'all see this, I'm not gonna lie. By the time y'all see this, it's obviously that deadline. Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and State Oversight Committee has given Ilhan Omar till May 5th, and if I'm not mistaken, it's May 5th, to produce documents and answer questions in writing relating to the Feeding Our Future fraud scandal after she failed to appear, in person. As y'all know, within these trial exhibits, her name is mentioned multiple times, multiple times, and she's in a lot. It's just not one thing, with that Feeding Our Future is within a lot, that we obviously are going to be talking about. Says right here, Ilhan Omar has until Tuesday to turn over all communication. So, as y'all know, again, got to turn over all communications, text, emails between her and the Feeding Our Future. Check it out right here.
Minnesota lawmakers are asking Congresswoman Ilhan Omar to respond by Tuesday regarding questions about a statewide child nutrition fraud scheme. The lawmakers are seeking Omar's written and electronic communications involving the state's Feeding Our Future program, which misused millions of dollars in taxpayer funds. State lawmakers specifically hoping to look at Omar's correspondence with the owners of the Safari restaurant. State lawmakers point out Omar was a regular at that restaurant, staging many campaign events there. Its owners recently pleaded guilty for their role in the two.
But then again, like I've been saying, she done a lot of this to herself. Like when you do a lot of you doing a lot of campaigning, you eating, you doing this, you doing that, you taking flicks. I'm telling y'all, it's all out there. Once it's on the internet, it's over with.
$150 million fraud scheme. Now, Omar's team and allies have largely framed allegations trying to link her to fraud as politically motivated and not substantiated. But for more on this, we are joined by Minnesota State Representative Kristen Robbins tonight. She is the chair of the Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and State Oversight Committee, also a candidate for Minnesota governor. Appreciate you being here today and sharing your perspective. And I know we're fast approaching this Tuesday request for Congresswoman Omar here. If she doesn't respond by this deadline, what is your committee's move on Wednesday morning?
We hope she will respond. She certainly owes it to Minnesota taxpayers and families to respond to our questions. And so I'm still hoping, but if not, the committee will examine all our options and we will continue to press for it because she created the program, the Meals Act, that took the guardrails off the school nutrition program that created the conditions for all this fraud.
And it's still more from the representative before I got to say what I want to say, but check it out.
The court exhibits from Feeding Our Future show in the exhibit list different communications between her office and some of her staffers and Feeding Our Future defendants. And that is the information we're trying to get. What were they communicating about? Did they tell them that they'd taken the guardrails off the program? Did they encourage them to get involved as one of the sites? Safari Restaurant was one of the sites that, as you noted, has been charged and convictions have been brought against them, but they were the largest single site in the Feeding Our Future case. So we definitely want to understand what her office was communicating, and I think that should be made available to the public.
It should, and it definitely should. That's one thing that I absolutely love is that a lot of things should be made out, to the public. Some things, obviously, you have some things that obviously I know that they're not going to put out to the public, and some things, shouldn't. But although there's a lot of things, especially something like this, that, it needs to be out in the public, it needs to be out, and she needs to turn in a lot of those documents. My thing is, I didn't put in this video, and but I feel like it was going to be too many videos, so I didn't. But I might show y'all tomorrow. But I want to give y'all a little homework. I want to give y'all a little homework on this. I want y'all to actually, if Ilhan Omar hasn't blocked you or you haven't, blocked her or anything like that, I want y'all to go to her X. What Ilhan Omar is doing, what I've noticed, is that she's trying to push and trying to distract, trying to push away the things that she's done with these businesses. If you look, she's taken and my thing is, I get it, when it comes down to what she was here. Let me go to it, because I can tell y'all exactly what it's called. It's called. Let me see here, because I don't want to tell y'all the wrong thing. That's what I don't want to do. But as I'm scrolling down and I'm looking, I start seeing different things, of Ilhan Omar. And then it said, this business and having this business is not popping up, of course. Give me just 2 seconds, y'all. And hopefully this pops up. That's why I be mad at myself sometimes that I don't put what I need to put in my videos, but then I feel like I'm doing too much. And then I have people in the comments talking crazy at me and stuff. Obviously, but it is what it is. But now I can't even find it. I'm gonna have to show y'all tomorrow. But if you go, or y'all can just go. Y'all can go to her X account and y'all clearly see that she's putting other businesses of other races, I should say. And it's more so of, I'm not just tied to Somalians. I'm not tied to, I want to get out. It's stuff that I noticed that she's doing. Cause because I always look at Ilhan Omar's stuff. She's either talking crazy about Trump, she'll say this, she'll say that, or she'll have these Somalians, she's with this Somalian, she's with that, But it's more so of a different. It's a different shift. It's a different shift on what she's doing and how she's acting, and it's a little weird now that she's been caught. You know what I mean? Definitely wild. You have it right here. This every day I've showed y'all her, her videos multiple times, with this, with Ilhan Omar, with everything, but mostly Ilhan Omar. Check out what she says right here.
The last time I spoke to you, you said that I was stupid for asking you about your financial disclosure, but there's some discrepancies on there. Would you like to explain them? How did you make such a big mistake on
I still do think you're stupid for asking me anything.
I am?
Yes.
Well, what about the American people who are wondering how you made such a big
I have
mistake?
explained to the American people.
What's the explanation?
I have given them the explanation.
Do you want to tell our viewers? Because
I don't want to tell you jack shit.
Oh.
How about that?
Okay.
And before Avery says anything, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Being real with y'all, and I've said before, Ilhan seems very stressed. She doesn't seem, and it's times that Ilhan say something, or yell at somebody, or say, well, really not even yell, but say something slick. In that video that just played, she shows a different type. The way that she's acting, her facial expression, her body language, all different.
Have a good day. Thank you, Congresswoman.
She knows she's called.
She's a nasty bum. Let's review why Ilhan Omar might be a little bit stressed. First, she comes from a family of oppressors in Somalia. Her father and her grandfather were both high-ranking military officials to Syed Barre's regime. They carried out the horrors of man-made famine and genocide while they lived in luxury. And then, when there was a civil war and the regime was overthrown, they fled. Her family fled to escape the consequences. And now, she's in the United States, where she married her brother to get him here, committing immigration fraud. I would say allegedly, but it's not. And now she is realizing that her little Somali piracy doesn't fly in the United States of America under Donald Trump, because she just revised her financial documents where they were originally claiming $30 million in combined assets to now $90,000 in total combined assets. And she shut down her husband's winery that didn't sell a single bottle of wine. Alcohol, not
Told y'all it's a lot more.
haram. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out what was going on there. So yeah, I'd be a bit too if I married my brother. My father was and I was banking on the fact that I could make millions of dollars off of the U.S.
Exactly. Like I've said multiple times, that wasn't the only thing that Ilhan Omar is tied to. She's tied to multiple things. And I'm going to tell y'all, it's not looking good for her. You literally have her sister right here. It says Ilhan Omar funneled millions of taxpayer dollars to Minneapolis health clinic run by her own sister, Sarah Noor. I've said this multiple times. I've mentioned her multiple times. It says while serving in office, Omar backed big public funding for the People's Center, where her sister served as CEO. So she's tied to a lot of things going on. And I'm telling y'all, it's not a good look. It's truly not a good look. It even says right here, Ilhan Omar has been panicking. They're shutting stuff down when it comes to removing websites, removing their names from things, deleting different things that obviously, needs to be. And again, it's not, these things aren't true. Me personally, I know for a fact these things aren't true. They think they deleting it and think, but it's so many people that ain't got them caught up into everything, and they're doing their best. I know they're doing their best. Just seeing how hard they're working, trying to stop. You have a lot of people that's constantly, kind of, I ain't gonna say being negative about it, but just not having hope at all when it comes down to getting further within Ilhan Omar. But then again, I know for a fact it's not looking good at all. Check it out.
Breaking news, Ilhan Omar's husband's wine company has been legally dissolved. You are looking at the state of California certificate of cancellation for Est Crew. That is the wine company owned in part by Tim Wynette, the Minnesota Congresswoman's spouse. Now, why would Wynette and his business partner dissolve their wine business, especially in light of this fact? The Wall Street Journal writing, quote, a 2025 email between Omar's husband and his accountant states that the venture capital management firm is valued at $7.9 million and the winery at $1.5 million. He owns roughly a third of both businesses, according to tax documents included with the lawyer's letter. But why was the winery valued so high in the first place? According to the New York Post, Est Crew had all kinds of problems. By 2023, winemakers said they were not being paid, and investors sued. And Est Crew had only $650 by 2024. Now, overall, the Post says Est Crew only sold a handful of wines between 2020 and 2023. Now, look at this. Among the wines sold by Omar's husband was this beautifully labeled Malbec. You see a devious-looking woman. There's a red devil over her right shoulder. Interestingly, the Malbec is called, quote, the devil's lie. What a name. Est Crew also sold a Cabernet Sauvignon called Blockchain, a red blend called Overt, described in reviews as flimsy and tart. But Omar's husband's wine venture appears to have come to an end. And a supposed end to, quote, the devil's lie Malbec comes just days after we learned that Ilhan Omar accidentally thought she was a multimillionaire. Funny how that happens. Remember this from last week? Omar amended her financial disclosure form, which once showed her husband's businesses valued between $6 million and $30 million, blaming an accounting error. And Omar now values his businesses between $18,000 and $95,000, a change that came after her finances came under investigation. But Tom Homan says, stay tuned.
Exactly.
The whole file is being reviewed.
Stay tuned.
A lot of smart people are on it. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That's what people fail to realize, though. People truly fail to realize that they serious about this and they ain't playing no games. I'm telling y'all, they serious about it and they ain't playing no games now. And we're finally starting to see something happen within this. This President Trump right now saying no more Somalians in the USA and that he's completely done, y'all.
Which is barely a country. They have no anything. They just run around killing each other. There's no structure. And when I see somebody like Ilhan Omar, who I don't know at all, but I always watch her for years. I've watched her complain about our Constitution, how she's being treated badly. Our Constitution, the United States of America, is a bad place. Hates everybody, hates Jewish people, hates everybody. And I think she's an incompetent person. She's a real terrible person. But when I watch what is happening in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes, or however many lakes they have, they got a lot of lakes, but this beautiful place, and I see these people ripping it off, and now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at that, Scott, I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay?
But I feel like a lot of people.
Politically correct, I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, And we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries too. I can say it about other countries too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point.
And that's the thing. Like I said, like other people feel the same exact way. You know, me, you, and even Minnesotans. You know, that are truly looking at the simple fact that they go somewhere, they go to the grocery store and they see them filling up carts, or they're going to go check and see if they can get a new car and they're buying new cars, or they're going to go, you know, house hunting and they seeing a bunch of Somalians, you know, with brand new nice houses or nice clothes and nice shoes on, and they're starting to see, you know, we getting ripped off. Like, we literally are getting, not only by Somalians, but I mean, you have it right here. Ilhan Omar says Ilhan Omar stands as the most ungrateful refugee in American history. This country gave her family safety, handed her a bright future on a silver platter, and even elevated her seat in Congress. Yes, she spits on it all. She openly despises white people, mocks Christians, and you know, it literally just gets sad with everything that she does. You know, for and not even for her, for the people that actually, I mean, y'all, people gotta think. Like, and the crazy thing about this is that this is not the only place that this is happening. You know, I've seen it in multiple places, and the top place that we're seeing a lot of this at is in California. You're seeing this everywhere, and it's truly sickening. I'll tell you that. One thing about it, you know, question here, and this is, you know, for real. You know, do you support J.D. Vance's plan to investigate Ilhan Omar for immigration fraud? And, you know, saying about, you know, prison time or deportation. Y'all let me know in the comments down below what y'all think. Definitely stay tuned for the next video. Catch y'all next one.